If history be not his story. The central question. What happens when the story used to explain a people is not the same thing as the life those people actually lived? This volume is not built around the lazy claim that every record is false. It is built around a harder and more useful proposition. Records are made by people, institutions select what survives, names can be imposed, categories can be changed, and later generations can inherit conclusions without seeing the machinery that produced them. The task, therefore, is not to reject history. The task is to take history apart, identify its components, test its chain of custody, and determine where observation ends and interpretation begins. A necessary etymological distinction. The title "If History Be Not His Story" is a deliberate conceptual split, not the literal origin of the word history. History descends through Greek historia, meaning inquiry, investigation, or knowledge gained by inquiry. The title asks whether inquiry has been replaced by an authorized story, and whether the story serves the interests of the person or institution telling it. History is a manufactured object. The past happened once. History is assembled afterward. The first distinction. The past is the total field of events that occurred. History is the organized account later produced from traces of those events. The two are related, but they are not identical. The past contains everything, every conversation, migration, injury, bargain, birth, burial, invention, theft, alliance, and private motive. History contains only what was recorded, preserved, recovered, selected, translated, interpreted, and taught. That means history is not merely discovered. It is manufactured from surviving materials. The word manufactured does not automatically mean fabricated. It means made by human hands. Through a sequence of choices. Someone chooses what counts as a source. Someone determines which language is authoritative. Someone establishes the chronology. Someone decides which contradiction is an error and which becomes a turning point. The centerpiece proposition. The past is not a book waiting to be opened. It is a vanished world leaving uneven traces. History is the structure built from those traces. The invisible assembly line. A historical claim usually passes through an assembly line: event, witness, record, preservation, custody, discovery, authentication, translation, interpretation, publication, curriculum, repetition. Weakness at any point can alter the final story. A truthful witness can be copied inaccurately. An accurate record can be removed from context. A real artifact can receive a false date. A faithful translation can still be inserted into a misleading narrative. Once the finished story becomes familiar, the assembly line disappears. The conclusion is presented without the scaffolding that produced it. Students receive the polished building but are rarely shown the quarry, the measurements, the discarded stones, or the arguments among the builders. Observation. A textbook states that a named people entered a region in a particular century. Inference. The statement may have been inferred from artifacts, later chronicles, linguistic patterns, or administrative records. Conclusion. The statement is only as strong as the evidence chain supporting the identification, date, and movement. Familiarity does not strengthen the chain. History as inherited compression. Every summary compresses. Compression is necessary because no human can hold the entire past. But compression removes detail, and removed detail may contain the mechanism. A sentence, such as "the territory became part of the empire," can conceal military occupation, negotiated surrender, legal renaming, population transfer, tax restructuring, religious conversion, and the destruction of competing records. The more compressed the story becomes, the easier it is to mistake the label for the process. The forensic reader reverses the compression. Instead of accepting became, the reader asks, by what? Acts, by which documents, through whose force, over what resistance, and according to whose vocabulary? The power to name. Before a people can be governed on paper, they must be made legible to the paper. Naming is not neutral. A name can describe, but it can also claim. Explorers rename rivers already named. Administrators replace local identities with categories convenient for taxation, policing, labor, religion, or land distribution. Later generations encounter the administrative name and assume it was the people's original self-description. The central question is not merely, what were they called? It is, who called them that, in what document, for what purpose, and what did they call themselves before that document existed? Who were the people before the labels? The sequence of identity capture. Encounter. Outsiders meet a population whose internal distinctions may be unfamiliar. Reduction. Many lineages, nations, towns, clans, languages, or spiritual systems are compressed into a broader term. Registration. The term enters maps, censuses, treaties, church books, court files, and school records. Enforcement. Access to land, movement, inheritance, or recognition becomes attached to the registered category. Inheritance. Descendants receive the label as if it were ancient identity rather than recent. Administration. At that point the label begins to produce the reality it originally claimed only to describe. Institutions organize around it. Benefits and penalties attached to it. People may adopt it for survival, reject it, combine it with older names, or forget the older names entirely. A name can become a cage. Once law, property, schooling, and public memory are organized around a category, leaving the category may carry material consequences. Identity is no longer only personal, it has become infrastructural. The forensic test for names. Every historical identity term should be dated. Ask for its earliest known use, the language in which it appears, the person or office using it, the geographical scope assigned to it, and whether the people themselves used the same word. Then compare the term across time. If its meaning changes, the historian must not silently transport the later meaning backward. Observation. A population appears under a particular racial, tribal, national, or religious label in a 19th century record. Inference. The label may reflect the recorder's classification system rather than the population's older self-understanding. Conclusion. The record proves the category was used at that time. It does not, by itself, prove the category was ancient, voluntary, precise, or biologically meaningful. The archive is not the past. What survives is not necessarily what mattered most. It is what escaped destruction and entered custody. Survival bias in memory. Archives feel authoritative because they contain physical documents. Yet the archive is already a filtered environment. Fire, war, humidity, insects, deliberate destruction, language loss, political purges, private collecting, and institutional neglect determine what remains. The archive, therefore, preserves survival, not completeness. Power also shapes preservation. States maintain tax rolls because taxes matter to states. Churches preserve baptismal and marriage records because sacraments matter to churches. Armies preserve orders, inventories, and casualty lists because logistics matter to armies. The daily knowledge of ordinary people may remain oral, embodied, domestic, or local and therefore leave fewer official traces. Custody creates authority. A document does not become reliable merely because it sits in a respected building. Its history of custody matters. Where was it found? Who possessed it before acquisition? Was it catalogued immediately? Has it been altered, rebound, translated, restored, or excerpted? Does the institution provide images of the original, or only a transcription? Archive rule. An archive is evidence about what an institution possesses. It is not automatic proof that the institution possesses the whole story. Absence is ambiguous. The absence of a document may mean an event never occurred. It may also mean the document was never created, did not survive, has not been found, remains inaccessible, was filed under another name, or was deliberately removed. Responsible reasoning does not turn absence into certainty without considering the expected record pattern. The correct question is, if this event occurred, what traces should it reasonably have produced? Then search across independent channels. A large migration may leave settlement changes, food patterns, burial changes, loan words, family traditions, legal disputes, and material culture. A single missing chronicle cannot erase all possible traces, neither can one ambiguous artifact establish the migration alone. Observation. No known official record describes a local practice. Inference. The practice may have been absent, informal, suppressed, ignored by officials, or recorded under unfamiliar terminology. Conclusion. The silence is a data point requiring explanation, not a final verdict. The administrative machine. History can be altered without rewriting a single ancient book. Administration changes lived reality. The most effective historical transformations often occur through ordinary paperwork. A clerk changes a category. A surveyor redraws a boundary. A court recognizes one title and rejects another. A school replaces one language. A census consolidates several peoples. A licensing system defines who may practice a trade. None of these acts looks like myth-making, yet together they can manufacture the identities later described as historical fact. Administrative power works through repetition. One form may appear trivial. Thousands of forms across generations become a new social architecture. The mechanism of paper conquest. Define the population in official language. Translate land relationships into property categories recognized by the governing system. Require proof in the governing system's documents. Reject forms of proof the population previously used. Attach movement, inheritance, education, voting, or benefits to the new categories. Allow the new records to become the primary evidence consulted by future historians. The final step is critical. The administrative record first changes the people's conditions, then becomes the source used to explain who those people were. The machine produces both the reality and the archive describing the reality. History without a storyteller. No single mastermind is required. A stable bureaucracy can produce a distorted historical picture through routine procedures, incentives, and inherited categories. Intent versus effect. A system can produce erasure without every participant intending erasure. A census worker may simply follow instructions. A teacher may repeat the approved curriculum. A judge may apply existing law. The forensic method examines effects, not only declared motives. Intent matters, but mechanism can be demonstrated even when intent remains uncertain. Observation. Successive records show a community under changing official classifications. Inference. The changes may reflect evolving administrative goals, racial theories, political alliances, or eligibility rules. Conclusion. The classification sequence must be analyzed as a mechanism. It should not be treated as a transparent record of timeless identity. Maps as instruments of reality. A map does not merely show territory. It proposes who owns, names, divides, and controls it. The authority of the drawn line. Maps are persuasive because lines look precise. Yet the precision may belong to the drawing, rather than to life on the ground. A border can cut through seasonal routes, kinship networks, watersheds, hunting grounds, sacred places, or towns whose inhabitants never conceived of themselves as separated by that line. Once the line enters law, military planning, taxation, and education, it begins to reorganize reality. People are stopped at crossings that did not previously exist. A community becomes foreign to relatives on the other side. Later histories describe conflict between nations that the map helped create. What to interrogate on every map. Date of production and date represented. Commissioning authority and intended audience. Source of place names and spellings. What is centered, enlarged, minimized, or omitted. Whether blank space means emptiness or simply lack of information. Whether boundaries were observed, claimed, negotiated, or imposed. How later maps copied earlier assumptions. The blank space deception. An unmarked region is not necessarily unoccupied. It may mean the mapmaker did not recognize, understand, survey, or wish to acknowledge the forms of life already there. Map recursion. Maps often copy earlier maps. An error can therefore acquire age without acquiring truth. A speculative coastline, mislabeled town, or exaggerated political claim may be reproduced by later cartographers until repetition is mistaken for independent confirmation. To test a map, compare it with travel logs, land surveys, court disputes, local names, ecological features, and maps produced by competing powers. Agreement among copied descendants is weaker than agreement among independent observation systems. Observation. Several maps show the same boundary. Inference. They may represent independent surveys, or they may descend from one political claim or copied source. Conclusion. The number of maps is less important than the independence and provenance of their information. Treaties, titles, and paper. Conquest. The signature on the page may conceal unequal languages, unequal concepts, and unequal force. A treaty is an event and an interpretation. A treaty document records words, but the meaning of those words depends upon language, legal concepts, translation, authority, and conditions of agreement. Did all parties understand land ownership in the same way? Did the signer have authority to bind every affected community? Were oral assurances omitted from the written text? Was the agreement made under military pressure, starvation, displacement, or threat? The forensic reader does not treat the existence of a signature as proof of equal understanding or free consent. Nor does the reader assume invalidity merely because power was unequal. The task is to reconstruct the transaction. Titles create retrospective legitimacy. Once a governing system recognizes a title, later histories may describe the holder as the lawful owner from the beginning. But lawfulness is internal to a legal system. A title may be perfectly valid under the conquering system while resting on the displacement of a prior system that recognized collective use, seasonal access, kinship stewardship, or sacred obligation rather than exclusive alienable ownership. Two truths can coexist. A deed can be legally valid within one regime and historically rooted in the destruction or non-recognition of another regime. Paper converts force into normality. Force wins control. Paper stabilizes it. Surveys, deeds, patents, court rulings, and inheritance. Records convert a contested seizure into routine administration. After several generations, the paper trail appears older than the memory of resistance. The historian who begins with the deed may miss the violence that made the deed possible. Observation. A land registry shows uninterrupted ownership through recognized deeds. Inference. The chain may be internally continuous after the governing system established its authority. Conclusion. Internal continuity does not answer how the first recognized title displaced or ignored earlier relationships to the land, the census and the manufacture of identity. To count a people, the state must first decide what a person is. Counting requires categories. A census appears numerical, but every number rests on definitions. Who counts as a resident? Who belongs to a household? Which races, nations, occupations, disabilities, religions, or legal conditions are recognized? Can a person choose the category, or does an enumerator assign it? Can one person occupy more than one identity? Because categories change, census continuity can be deceptive. A population may appear to vanish when its label disappears. Another may appear to grow when several older groups are consolidated. A new category may create a statistical people before it becomes a widely lived identity. The life cycle of a census label. Policy creates the available categories. Instructions tell enumerators how to classify ambiguous cases. Enumerators apply those instructions unevenly. Data are tabulated as though categories were stable facts. Researchers use the tables to reconstruct population history. Communities inherit or resist the identities the tables helped institutionalize. A number can hide a decision. Statistics do not remove interpretation. They bury interpretation beneath arithmetic. Following one family through records. One of the strongest tests is longitudinal. Follow the same family across censuses, birth records, marriage licenses, military files, school records, deeds, and death certificates. If the classification changes while the family continuity remains, the change itself becomes evidence about the administrative system. Do not rush to explain every change as fraud. Enumerators made errors, spellings varied, family members moved, self-identification changed, laws changed. But the sequence can reveal when identity was externally reassigned and when institutional categories became unstable. Observation. The same lineage is recorded under several identity labels across decades. Inference. The variation may arise from changing law, enumerator judgment, strategic self-identification, marriage, migration, or clerical error. Conclusion. The records demonstrate classification instability. Determining the mechanism requires comparison with instructions, local policy, and family evidence. Education as memory installation. A curriculum does not merely teach facts. It trains the boundaries of the imaginable. The first authorized world. For many people, school provides the first coherent timeline of the world. The order of chapters teaches causation, which civilization begins the story, which people appear only after discovery, which wars count as turning points, which inventions have named creators, and which populations enter mainly as labor, obstacles, victims, or background. What is omitted may matter as much as what is included. A student cannot ask a question for which the curriculum supplies no vocabulary. If land classification, census relabeling, treaty translation, archive destruction, or institutional incentives are absent, history appears as a sequence of events rather than a system of power. Repetition becomes memory. A statement repeated through textbooks, tests, museums, films, holidays, and monuments becomes culturally available even when its evidentiary chain is unknown. People remember the conclusion but cannot identify the source. The story feels self-evident because everyone encountered it through the same institutions. Consensus may be downstream. Agreement can arise because many people independently inspected evidence. It can also arise because many people received the same compressed narrative from the same source network, teaching investigation instead of inheritance. A forensic curriculum would place primary materials beside the textbook summary. Students would compare maps from competing authorities, inspect census instructions, track changes in terminology, evaluate translations, and distinguish fact from interpretation. They would learn that questioning a narrative is not the same as denying evidence. The goal is not permanent suspicion. The goal is earned confidence. A conclusion that survives. Transparent examination becomes stronger, not weaker. Observation: most students learn the same account of an event. Inference: the agreement may reflect strong evidence, standardized curriculum, or both. Conclusion: to evaluate the account, inspect the source chain rather than using familiarity as proof. Religion as historical infrastructure. Sacred story, institutional record, and political memory often share the same archive. Religion preserves and organizes time. Religious institutions have preserved languages, genealogies, calendars, legal traditions, burial records, art, architecture, music, and manuscripts. They have also determined which teachings were copied, condemned, canonized, translated, or excluded. Religion therefore operates not only as belief but as historical infrastructure. When a religious institution becomes entangled with state power, theology, and administration can reinforce each other. Conversion may alter names, marriage rules, burial practices, education, holidays, and acceptable ancestry. A spiritual change becomes a documentary change, and the documentary change reshapes what later historians can see. Canon is a boundary. A canon defines authorized memory. It tells a community which texts belong inside the teaching. Structure. The existence of a canon does not prove excluded texts are true, but exclusion changes the evidence environment. Future generations may mistake authorized survival for original completeness. The religious history question. Was a belief transmitted because it was earliest, because it was judged true, because it served institutional unity, because rival communities lost power, or through some combination of these? Names across time. Religious history is especially vulnerable to anachronism. Later names, spellings, institutional labels, and doctrinal categories are projected backward onto people who used different languages and may not have recognized the later system. Precision requires period-appropriate terms. Wherever evidence permits, the forensic approach neither dismisses faith nor uses faith as historical proof. It separates theological meaning from documentary claims and then examines where the two intersect. Observation. A later religious institution attributes its structure directly to an ancient founder. Inference. The claim may preserve continuity, express theological legitimacy, or compress centuries of institutional development. Conclusion. The institutional claim is evidence of what the institution teaches. Historical continuity requires an independently traceable chain. The missing body of evidence. A story becomes fragile when one kind of evidence must carry the weight of an entire world. Independent evidence channels. Strong historical reconstruction does not depend upon one source class. Text, archaeology, genetics, linguistics, ecology, architecture, art, oral tradition, law, and material technology can constrain one another. Each channel has limits, but convergence among genuinely independent channels increases confidence. The word independent matters. 10 articles repeating one excavation report do not equal 10 excavations. 50 websites quoting one translation do not equal 50 witnesses. A chain of repetition must not be counted as a field of confirmation. Expected traces. Every proposed event has an expected trace profile. A massive city should require water, food, waste removal, housing, roads, tools, labor organization, and burial practices. A long distance Trade networks should leave foreign materials, routes, intermediaries, accounting systems, or shared technologies. A population replacement should affect more than one kind of evidence. Expected traces do not guarantee preservation, but they discipline imagination. The larger the claim, the broader the trace pattern one should seek. The body of evidence rule. Do not ask only, can this object fit my theory? Ask, what full pattern should exist if my theory is correct, and what pattern should exist if it is wrong? Contradictions are information. Contradictions should not be hidden as annoyances. They reveal where categories, dates, identities, translations, or assumptions are unstable. Sometimes the contradiction resolves through better evidence. Sometimes it exposes multiple events that were compressed into one. Sometimes it remains unresolved and should remain visible. Observation: one document conflicts with a large body of other evidence. Inference: the document may be wrong, misdated, misread, exceptional, or evidence that the larger model is incomplete. Conclusion: investigate provenance and expected traces before either discarding the document or rebuilding the entire narrative around it. The forensic method. The antidote to inherited story is not counter-story. It is disciplined reconstruction. Step 1. Isolate the exact claim. Broad statements such as "they erased our history" are emotionally powerful but analytically weak until broken into testable claims. Who is they? Which history? Through what mechanism? In what period? What evidence would demonstrate the erasure? What evidence would weaken the claim? Step 2. Classify every statement. Observation, directly inspectable evidence or a faithful report of it. Inference, an explanation proposed from observations. Conclusion, the judgment reached after comparing explanations. Assumption, a premise being used but not yet demonstrated. Unknown, a gap that must remain open. Step 3. Build the source genealogy. Trace each claim backward. What is the earliest source you can locate? Is the source contemporary with the event? Is it independent? In what language? Is the original available? What transformations occurred between original and present quotation? Step 4. Inspect the mechanism. Identify how the alleged change could actually occur. Through law, schooling, census rules, translation, land registration, religious conversion, war, migration, archive control, economics. A mechanism converts suspicion into an investigable model. Step 5. Seek disconfirmation. A theory that explains every possible outcome explains nothing. State what evidence would force revision. Search for records from opposing institutions, unexpected survivals, local continuity, and cases where the proposed mechanism failed. The bullshit meter properly used. A contradiction signal is not a conclusion. It is an alarm telling you where to inspect the premises. Mechanism, an evidence chain. Observation: a familiar story conflicts with one observable fact. Inference. The story may be wrong, the fact may be misinterpreted, or an unstated assumption may connect them. Conclusion: stop at the contradiction. Identify the hidden premise before choosing a side. The law of correspondence. A mechanism observed in one domain becomes a question for another domain, not automatic. Proof. Microcosm and macrocosm. The law of correspondence asks whether relationships repeat across scale and domain. If an institution can reshape identity through naming in one colony, could comparable naming mechanisms operate elsewhere? If a school system can standardize memory in one nation, could a religious canon or media system perform a similar function? The strength of correspondence lies in pattern recognition. Its danger lies in premature identity. Assuming that because two structures resemble one another, they must share the same cause, actors, or purpose. The correspondence test. Name the mechanism precisely. Identify the variables that must be present. Specify which relationships correspond. List the differences in scale, environment, and authority. Predict what additional traces should appear. Test those predictions independently.